On Tuesday, May 13th, the PHLX Semiconductor Index (SOX) climbed roughly 3% as chip makers rallied on news of easing trade tensions and policy shifts. The Nasdaq led broader markets higher, gaining 1.6%, driven chiefly by a tech storm. AMD's performance. AMD shares jumped 4%, hitting an intraday peak near $112.50, as traders rotated back into high-growth semiconductors after a choppy few weeks. The move outpaced Intel's modest gain of 1.7% and Qualcomm's slight dip of 0.5%. Catalysts behind the green. Tariff truce extension. The US and China agreed to a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs, reducing uncertainty for chip exports and imports. Inflation cooling. April's CPI came in at plus 2.3% YoY, softer than the 2.4% March print, boosting growth stock sentiment. Policy reversal. BIS's decision not to enforce the AI diffusion rule removed a looming barrier to advanced chip exports. Kessler's directive, rescinding the AI diffusion rule. What was the AI diffusion rule? Issued January 15, 2025, the AI diffusion rule would have required export licenses for AI chips to over 100 countries, slashing access for many U.S. partners and imposing complex, tiered restrictions. Kessler's move. On May 13, Undersecretary Jeffrey Kessler instructed BIS enforcement officials not to enforce the rule, stating the Trump administration will pursue a bold, inclusive strategy to American AI technology with trusted foreign countries, while keeping technology out of the hands of our adversaries. Tech giants, including NVIDIA and AMD, had lobbied heavily against the diffusion rule, warning it would stifle innovation and drive allies to source chips from China. Kessler's directive reflects industry concerns and a strategic pivot toward bilateral agreements rather than blanket bans. Why this is good news for AMD. Expanded overseas markets. With fewer licensing hurdles, AMD can export GPUs and EPYC processors more freely to key allies. Saudi Arabia, India, Japan, and EU nations, fueling data center and AI infrastructure projects. Partnership momentum. AMD's recent $10 billion AI center deal with Saudi-backed Hummine positions it alongside NVIDIA in delivering chips for a multi-gigawatt AI supercomputing network. Clearing policy obstacles accelerates these high-profile rollouts. Financial resilience. AMD's Q1 2025 results. 36% revenue growth to $7.438 billion and non-GAAP EPS of 96 cents. Demonstrate robust demand despite macro headwinds. Easier exports can sustain this momentum into Q2 and beyond. Competitive position. While NVIDIA dominates top-end GPUs, AMD's MI300X accelerators and EPYC CPUs offer strong price/performance in cloud and AI inference workloads, now primed for global deployment without the rule's chokehold. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. Investor Playbook: buy, hold, or sell? Buy entry zone, $105 to $110, capitalizing on spillover from policy wins. Catalyst focus: look for new international contract wins, Q2 guide up surprises, and further tariff extensions. Hold: if you already own AMD, ride the tailwinds, but set stop losses near $100 to protect from broad market pullbacks. Watch sector leadership: if Intel or Qualcomm begin to outperform meaningfully, reconsider overweight positions. Sell or trim at $125 plus, consider partial profit taking. This level approaches AMD's 2024 all-time high before China tariff fears. If policy sentiment reverses or trade talks falter, exit quickly. The dam and the river. The AI diffusion rule was a dam blocking AMD's chip, river, to allies. Kessler just blew the gates, letting a flood of orders surge downstream. Imagine each country bringing a dish to a potluck. Under the old rule, some guests, allies, couldn't access the main course, AI chips. Now plates can circulate freely, everyone feasts. Tariffs and export curbs with toll booths slowing traffic. Kessler's nod removed the tolls, opening the express lane for AMD's chips to cruise at highway speeds into global data centers. The bigger picture: AMD's strategic positioning in the AI landscape. AMD's recent stock performance is not just a reaction to policy changes but also a reflection of its strategic positioning in the rapidly evolving AI and semiconductor landscape. The company's focus on high-performance computing, data centers, and AI workloads positions it well to capitalize on the growing demand for advanced processing capabilities. Market dynamics and competitive landscape. While NVIDIA has garnered significant attention with its recent $3 trillion market capitalization and major deals, AMD is also making strategic moves to expand its market share. The company's collaborations with international partners and its emphasis on innovation in chip design are key factors contributing to its growth trajectory. Investor considerations. Investors should consider AMD's long-term potential in the context of the broader semiconductor industry's growth. The company's commitment to innovation, coupled with favorable policy shifts, suggests a positive outlook. However, as with all investments, it's essential to stay informed about market trends and company developments. Advanced Micro Devices, AMD, rode a wave of positive policy shifts, strategic partnerships, and robust product roadmaps to a 4% stock rally on May 13, outpacing peers and signaling renewed investor confidence. Key drivers include a 90-day U.S.-China tariff truce, softer U.S. inflation, and a halt on enforcing the Biden-era AI diffusion rule, a move by Undersecretary Jeffrey Kessler that unlocks AI chip exports to allied markets. Beyond policy, AMD's $10 billion AI infrastructure deal with Saudi-backed Humine and its next-gen Instinct MI300X/MI325X accelerators position it as a formidable NVIDIA rival in data center AI. With manufacturing onshore via TSMC's Arizona plant and a $6 billion buyback plan, AMD's long-term outlook brightens, even as analysts debate revenue impacts from China export curbs. Global OEM deals. AMD's Instinct MI300X accelerators and EPYC CPUs are now slated for inclusion in Google Cloud, Meta's AI Labs, and Dell EMC servers, expanding its data center footprint. At Advancing AI 2025, AMD unveiled MI300X and MI325X, showcasing up to 35 times generative AI inference gains over MI300 series, fueling efficiency and performance for hyperscalers. 3.2 CDNA Next and MI400 series. The upcoming CDNA 4 architecture, MI350, and CDNA Next, MI400, 2026, promise to keep AMD competitive in high-end AI workloads well into the next decade. Manufacturing and buybacks, strengthening the base. Onshore production in Arizona. AMD will produce key processors at TSMC's Arizona fab, marking the first U.S. manufacturing of its chips and aligning with national security priorities. AMD posted $7.438 billion in Q1 revenue, plus 36% YOY, and 96 cents non-GAAP EPS, beating estimates and underscoring robust AI and gaming demand. China export curbs. Reuters estimates AMD could lose $1.5 billion in revenue due to U.S. export restrictions on China, a risk partly mitigated by Kessler's policy shift for allied nations. If we fully obey the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, and carefully follow all His commandments, He has promised to set us high above all the nations of the earth. Deuteronomy 28. We shall be blessed when we come in and when we go out. I appeal to you to accept God and let Him be your guide, for He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful content. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Faith and prayer will do what no power on earth can accomplish. See you in the next video by God's mercy.